Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. After learning mathematics, which is Islam, and Islam is mathematics, it stands true. You can always prove it at no limit of time. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever. And I bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is his last and greatest messenger, and his exalted Christ. And I further bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is their divine reminder in our midst today. Brothers and sisters, I greet you in the greeting words of our forefathers. Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, in this week's installment, I want to talk about the coming of God, the meaning of his coming, the reason for his coming, and what it means to you and I. In the book of Isaiah, 49th chapter, beginning at the 24th verse, it says, "Shall the prey be taken from the mighty, or the lawful captive delivered?" It says, "Yea, even the prey shall be taken from the mighty, and the lawful captive delivered." Brothers and sisters, in our paper, the Final Call newspaper, and formerly the Muhammad Speaks newspaper, point number 12 reads, "We believe that Allah, God, appeared in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, July 1930, the long-awaited Messiah of the Christians and the Mahdi of the Muslims. We believe further and lastly that Allah is God, and besides him there is no God, and he will bring about a universal government of peace, wherein we all can live in peace together." Brothers and sisters, the coming of God ushers in a time of judgment, a time of the judgment of this world. This world was given 6,000 years. The only thing this world actually has is time. That's all they were given. All Adam was given is time. He was given 6,000 years to rule. And that 6,000 year period has come to an end. So God now comes in person, not as a spook or a spirit, but a living man. I know a lot of us have a problem believing that God can come in the person of a man. But the truth of the matter is, that's the only way God can come. God is not something that is invisible from outer space. God is not something that cannot be seen. God just has not been seen because he allowed someone to rule in his absence. And if we knew who God was, that ruler could not have ruled. This man who is ruling this world, this Adam that is ruling this world, was given a time to rule. And he was given a time to rule through technology, through deceit, through lies, deception. That is his calling card. And because he was to rule us with that which is contrary to truth, the God had to step aside and let him rule. This was done purposely. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that we live on a planet that is 24,896 miles in circumference. And he teaches us that the wise man of the East, the original man, writes his history in advance for 25,000 years. So he says, in the year 1 of this current calendar history, the wise scientists of the black man, 24 in number, 12 major and 12 minor scientists, they go out among the people and they tune into the thoughts of the people and they listen to what the people are thinking. And through their thoughts, they are able to mathematically decipher what will happen in the future. Because everything that happens arises from a thought. You can't do anything. You can't make a movement without a thought. And every time a thought comes, it produces an action. So when they tune in to the thoughts of the people, they are able to see what kind of actions those thoughts will produce. And then those actions will give rise to new thoughts, which will give rise to circumstances and events that will give rise to new thoughts, that will give rise to new circumstances and events. And they come together and they write it and they put it in a book. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, in the year 1 of our current calendar history, they saw that in the year 8,400, the dissatisfaction would be 30% dissatisfied and 70% satisfied. And that dissatisfaction would give rise to a man who would address that dissatisfaction. Anytime the dissatisfaction rises to the level of 30%, a man will be born out of the dissatisfied who will address that dissatisfaction and bring in that which will change or address or reconcile that dissatisfaction. Yaqub, the father of this world, was born out of that 30%. And he devised a plan to make a new man on our planet that would rule the original man for 6,000 years. And that man, we call him the Caucasian white man. A man who was grafted from the original man. When we say devil, that's all we really mean. All devil means is one that is grafted from the original. So a cat outside is a devil. He's not original. He's grafted from the lion and the tiger. He's a grafted animal, so he's a devil. Anytime a living thing is grafted from something else and is not the same as that which it is grafted from, which you have is devil. And when you really break down the word devil, it's the same as the word deviant. You know what a deviant is. A deviant is a person who does not go along with the norm. So the root of the word devil is D-I-V-I. Deviate. Deviate. To deviate means to be away from the path. So this man was taken out from the natural way of reproduction. That's why they had to be isolated on the island of Patmos. And on that island, the darker was murdered and the lighter was saved. And that is why their nature is such that they quite naturally will kill the original man. The killing of the original man is part of their very nature. That's why you'll never get along with them in peace. That's why you're angry with them. You're angry with them because you want them to accept you as their brother. They're not your brother. By nature, they are not. You expecting love and brotherhood from the white race is contrary to the very nature of them. Nature did not put brotherhood for them, for you, in them. It just did not. See, when you expect something that is contrary to nature, you will always be disappointed. You cannot be successful in looking for that which nature did not put in them. It's just like looking at your dog and expecting your dog to climb trees. Nature did not put that in them. It's not their fault. You can't be mad at them for that which nature did not give them. I'm not saying that we should mistreat white people. I'm not saying that. We don't mistreat anybody. But in order to have a successful relation with them, you've got to understand their nature. And if you look to them for love and brotherhood, brothers and sisters, you will always be disappointed. You will always be disappointed looking to them for that which nature did not give them. It's like expecting a fish to walk on dry land. Nature just didn't give them that. So we don't expect that which nature did not give them. So now we are now living in the time of judgment. Look what the Bible says. The Bible in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, the 3rd verse, it says, "Let no man deceive you, for that day shall not come unless there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed." The man of sin must be revealed at the end of his time. At the end of their time of rule, God comes and then gives the truth. He raises a messenger from among us and gives that messenger the wisdom of this world. To reveal the wisdom of this world, how it was ruled and who it was ruled by, when, where, and why. In the book of Isaiah, it says, the 59th chapter, beginning at the 9th verse, it says, "Therefore is judgment far from us, neither does justice overtake us. We wait for light, but behold obscurity, for brightness, but we walk in darkness. We grope for the wall like the blind, and we grope as if we had no eyes. We stumble at noonday as in the night. We are in desolate places as dead men. Noonday as in the night. We are in desolate places as dead men. And judgment is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off, for truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. Yea, truth faileth, and he that departs from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. And he saw that there was no man, and wondered that there was no intercessor. Therefore, his arm brought salvation to him, and his righteousness, it sustained him. Justice is not, justice falleth in the street, he says. The reason why judgment had to come is because there was no justice. So God himself had to come and raise his messenger from among us. So now we are at the time of this. We are at the time of judgment. In this book, Message to the Black Man, on page 186, 185 and 86, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talks about a man, a delegate from the Virginia House of Delegates in 1832 by the name of Henry Berry. He says, Henry Berry, while speaking in the Virginia House of Delegates in 1932, described the situation as existed at the time in many parts of the South. He says, he quotes him as saying, "We have as far as possible closed every avenue by which light may enter the slave's mind. The avenue of light," he says, "of Allah, you are unable to shut out from the coming to us." He says again, quoting him, "If we could extinguish the capacity to see the light, our work would be complete. They would then be on the level of the beasts of the field, and we should be safe. I am not certain that we would not do it if we could find out the process, and that on the plea of necessity. The above words, desire and works against you, are still in the hearts of their evil, bloodthirsty children against you." Their desire is to cut off the avenue of light. That means truth. They intended to cut you off from ever being able to discern the truth. Why? Because the Bible teaches us that the truth will make you free. Light, truth will make you free. So he intended to cut off from you the very capacity to even see truth, to see light. But God comes at the end of this world to expose the truth. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless there be a falling away first. So now we come to God coming in person. Again in this book, Message to the Black Man. I see our time is just about up. So I will go into that on our next program. So brothers and sisters, I greet you as I came before you in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu Alaikum.
Thank you for tuning in to 19 Minutes. You have just heard F. Shabakhan Muhammad as he bears witness to the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Please like, share, and subscribe. Click on the notification bell to be notified when an episode is uploaded. We will see you next time for 19 Minutes, your weekly series appearing every Monday on YouTube at the 1900 hour or 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum.